hello. Good evening, good morning, good day, whatever time it is that you are watching this. Um, just give me a few seconds. Just need to get something set up and we gonna get it. We are going to get it. I pray that you all have had a phenomenal day. I pray that you all are well. I know it's uber late, but we gonna do this. Like, yeah, we all in. We are all in. Let's see. We are all in. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening again. I'm just getting some things set up here. Maybe some people will come on in while I am posting this. I literally decided because I've been on live I've been live for the past what? Oh gosh, daily since probably last Saturday. Last Saturday. So I pray that you all are well. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna get started. We're gonna get started. All right. Good evening once again. Forgive me if you're watching this on replay. I promise I am going to get started. Hold on. Just trying to make sure I share this link. And we gonna get it. We gonna get it. We gonna get it. So I pray that you all have had a phenomenal day. All right. So good evening, everybody. Good evening. I pray that you're well. I pray that your families are well. I pray that you had a phenomenal day. I pray that you smiled more and laughed more than you were upset, more than there was tension, more than there was anything else. I pray that you were glad. I pray that you made the most of your day. My name is Dr. JaNee Mobley. I'm affectionately known as Dr. JaNee, and I help women turn their purpose into a profitable business while supporting them and teaching them strategies to overcome mindsets that will prevent profit, progress, and prosperity. So as you all come in, make sure that you share this live broadcast, text it to about 2 or 3 people. I know over here on the East Coast, it is 11:08 p.m. And I must say that this is the first that I have ever been live this late. But let me tell y'all something. I am so passionate about women and people overall implementing and moving in their purpose. And one of the reasons why is once I truly understood what our God's intention was when he created us, it pushed me even harder. And a lot of us are moving through life unaware that we have been called to be greater than what you currently are. Let me just say that. Let me speak to the person just really, really briefly, and I'm going to get into the content in just a minute. To you who are working a job, even building a business that does not bring you joy, that frustrates you, that aggravates you. And one of the things that you may say to yourself is, I know that there has to be more to life than this. There has to be something greater. There has to be something bigger. There has to be more than just this. There's more than just earning a paycheck. There's more, and you feel there's a lack of fulfillment. And I want you to understand that feeling, though, are signs that there's time for a shift. Those feelings and those thoughts are signs that you are possibly in the wrong career and in the wrong industry and in the wrong business. I want you to understand that one thing that I truly know about God is that he loves us so much. The Bible tells us that warning comes before destruction. And he loves us so much that he will tell us where we are erroring, where we are going in the wrong way. And think it not strange that you don't feel fulfilled in your life right now. That is just an indication that God is saying that there's more to you, that you have not moved forward in your purpose. And now is the time to do so. So, a couple of nights ago, I talked about how to discover your purpose. And for those of you all who are wondering, how do I find out my purpose? How do I figure my purpose out? Make sure you watch the video. I believe it should be the one on Wednesday, either Wednesday or Tuesday, but I believe it's entitled How to Discover Your Purpose. I made it very, very simple. And I shared with you all how you can, or how the number and the only way to discover and uncover your purpose. So if you haven't already, I meant to share this. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Text this out to about 2 or 3 people. I'm usually never on here any longer than about 35 minutes. And of course, I plan on being even shorter on tonight. So I'm going to continue the conversation on your purpose. And as you all build your purpose, and I hope you have a notebook and paper, because it's going to be really, really good, because it encouraged me even more so. So I want you to know that your purpose, first and foremost, should be built wide, and it should be built deep. I'm going to say that again. I want you to keep in mind that your purpose should always be built wide, and it should be deep. Well, Dr. JaNee, what do you mean by building my purpose wide? What does that mean? What? I don't understand. Well, when you build your purpose wide, by my definition, wide is more so there from a broad perspective, right? You are able to take up more space. So when you think about this in the marketplace, you building your purpose wide is about helping and supporting and serving more of the people that God has called for you to serve. I want you to always think about yourself this way, and I want you to write this down, that I am a problem solver. I am a problem solver. I am the solution to someone's problem in my industry. That's how I want you to always think about yourself, because when you think about services, when you think about products and services are created to be a solution to somebody's problem. A cookbook is created for someone who either doesn't know how to cook. The problem is they either don't know how to cook, or they need more variety of what to cook, right? When you think about social media, the need, and I'm sure it wasn't so much a need, but the need was to be able to be sociable online rather than in person, right? So YouTube, Mark Zuckerberg, and all of these different people created these virtual platforms to solve the problem of allowing people to be able to reach people virtually from their homes without having to meet in person, right? So I want you to always understand and note that you are a problem solver. You are the solution to someone's problem. Somebody has a problem, and I want you to think about what your industry is, and I want you to write down, what is your industry? What industry are you in? Are you in the industry of health and wellness and fitness? Are you in the industry of marketing and sales? Are you in the industry of cosmetology, where you make women look amazing, or you barber for men, right? What is your industry? And I always want you to consider yourself as being the solution to somebody's problem, and understanding that your goal is to solve their problem. So when you're talking about building your business, moving in your purpose from a perspective of building wide, you want to make sure that your goal is to reach the people that God has called for you to serve. You want to make sure that you show up from a place of service. Although majority of the time it will require a transaction, but your goal is to serve people. Let's just face it. People pay, if that's the best that you got, big, you ain't hitting on nothing, okay? If that is the best that you got at 11 o'clock, at 11:14 at night, you ain't hitting on nothing, okay? If that is the best that you got. So I want you to understand that you must build your purpose from a place of building wide. You want to make sure that the intention that God had for your life is fulfilled. That's what you want to make sure. The Bible tells us in Jeremiah 1 that he tells Jeremiah, look, before I formed you in the womb of your mother's belly, I knew you. And knew means discerned. He knew what he wanted Jeremiah to be and to move in even before he formed him, even before he began to give him shape in his mother's womb, even before he gave him eyes to see. He knew him, which lets me know that he knew the intention that he had for Jeremiah's life. And in that same way, as a believer, God has an intention for your life. And this is why he made you come here to this earth. This is why you're here for a time such as this. Somebody in your industry needs you to solve their problem in your way. And let me just make note of this. I don't care if there are thousands of people who do exactly what you do. Nobody is you. I'm going to say that again. I don't care if there are thousands of people who do exactly what you do. Nobody is you. If we take the industry of the food industry for cooks and chefs, there's Rachel Wade, there's G Garvin, there's Kimmy Creations. And all of these three people are very much different. All of these people show up very, very differently. All of them are unique. And guess what? There are an audience of people who gravitate specifically to either one or all of those people. So I want you to understand that even though there may be people out there who do exactly what you do, understand that nobody can do it in the way that you do it. Okay? All right. I also want you to understand that as you are building your business wide, that is so much bigger than you. If we take, and I love talking about her story because it resonates with me in so many ways. Because if we look at Esther in the Bible, Esther, if we look at her history, Esther was an orphan. Esther was raised by her cousin. Her parents died, and he was the one who was responsible for raising her. Esther was the least likely one to be chosen to be queen. Okay, Esther, from the perspective, wouldn't have been selected. Esther, judging based upon people, was the least likely of them to be admitted to the palace, let alone to receive favor. And what this tells me about God is that he can take someone who feels absolutely small or who has been minimized in life and position them to be strong, to position them to be powerful, to position them to be and to have great influence. When we look at the industry right now, years ago before social media came out, people would have to grind, they would have to hustle to get a spot on television. Now there are people in those industries who are looking to social media to obtain talent. So even if you think that you are small, within a blink of an eye, the more you show up on social media, the more you build, the more you market yourself, you never know who will come knocking at your virtual door to grant you an invitation. So we go back to Esther. Here's the thing I made note of is that it wasn't just about Esther becoming queen. It wasn't about her. Remember I said that this is bigger than you. Okay? This is bigger than you. Right? So pray about either one. That is my suggestion. That's what I got for you. Pray about either one, because I know I'm praying all the way. The fervent, effectual prayers of the righteous availeth much. Okay, so it wasn't just about Esther becoming queen, and you got to understand that your purpose isn't just about you making money. And this was, let me tell you something, once I grasped a hold of this, it shifted my perspective and the way that I show up in my industry, the way that I show up for the people that God has called for me to serve. Your purpose is so much more bigger than you. It wasn't just about Esther becoming queen. It was about God positioning her. Her purpose positioned her to serve those, to provide those with transformation and deliverance. I'm going to say that again. Esther's purpose positioned her and those that she was called to serve to deliver them and provide them with the transformation. And this is how you should think of yourself in your industry. Uh-oh. This is how you should think of yourself in your industry. Period. You are the solution. God has positioned you in your purpose to not only just be a person of influence for accolades, for hearts, for shares, but it's also to position people to provide a transformation to whatever it is that they are facing. Your goal is to serve them, not just take their money and spend it, not just to receive it, but to serve them. You want to set yourself apart in your purpose as being one who serves the people. One thing that I understand about Jesus is that Jesus served the people. He understood his assignment. Even when people were doing some stupid stuff, Jesus understood that he had an assignment. So as you show up in the marketplace, make sure that you position yourself and understand that I have to show up from a place of service. Regardless of what it looks like, regardless of what they are saying, I have to show up from a place of service. Because God has positioned you to be able to provide a transformation which will lead to deliverance for somebody else. And here is the thing, which brings me to my last point. You want to build your purpose deep. And this is the deep part. When you think about deep, that means you go down to the root of things. That means you get to the seed. When you think about seed, seed is offspring. So your purpose is also built for your offspring. It's built for your offspring. If you haven't already, make sure you share this live broadcast because I know this really blessed me, right? And make sure you subscribe to my channel. It's built for your offspring. You want to build deep. I always say this, that, and this is you are building your purpose for your children and your children's children. Well, even if you don't have children, you're building it for your nieces and your nephews. Let me give you a perspective. The Bible tells us to train up a child, and I may be summarizing this, but train up a child in the way that they should go. And when they get older, they won't part from it. And I always say this, and this is something that I keep in mind, that training is not just about disciplining them when they do something wrong. Training includes, and make note of this, training includes demonstration, observation, and conversation. I'm going to say it again. Training includes observation, demonstration, and conversation. So when you train your child, when you train your niece, when you train your nephew, you are training them. And they are, and this is based on the conversations that you're having, you are training them. You're training them based on the things that you demonstrate, which lets me know the way that I operate in their presence and outside of their presence matters. The way that I treat them and the way that I treat others, it all matters. Why? Because I'm training them up in the way that they should go. So when they get older, they won't part from it. Note this, that children do more of what you do than what you say. I'm going to say it again. Children do more of what you do than what you say. So you can tell them, don't use profanity, don't cuss, and then you curse like a sailor. Well, guess what? They may end up doing 9 times out of 10 because you trained them. They observed you do this. You demonstrated it. So guess what 9 times they're going to do? They are going to use profanity. Train up a child in the way that they should go. So when you think about your purpose, as you move in your purpose, one of the things that I do when I go live, our children know when this door is closed and mama says she's going to work or she's going to speak, they understand that mama's building her business. Daddy is out to work. He's building his business. They understand that we are moving in our purpose. So we are demonstrating to them that a job is not the only way that they can bring in income into their household. At all, right? We're demonstrating to them that they can make money by using the gift that God has given them to serve those he has called for us to serve. Again, this is about purpose. This ain't just about me getting up here and talking to y'all. This is about me providing you all. My goal is to always provide you all with transformational, valuable content, whether it's a post, whether it's a book, whether it's a thread, whether it's a short, whether it's a reel, whether it's a video, whether it's a picture. The goal is to provide you all with transformational content. You may not ever encounter me again. But I want you to remember something that I said that will trigger you to transform your life, to transform your business, to ensure that you walk in your purpose. So as you move in your purpose, in your children and your nieces, your nephews, your godchildren, observe you move in their purpose. When they get older, guess what they're going to do? They're going to move in theirs. They're going to move in theirs. We have to understand that we are called to train up our children, not just to discipline them in that way. It involves them seeing us doing what God has called for us to do. And what it does is it causes a ripple effect. They may not go into the same exact industry, but guess what? It will provoke them to say and realize that they too can build a business. This is what this is all about. This is about your purpose. And I'll probably do a second live about building deep, because it's so much more bigger. When I think about building deep, I think about recently LeBron James, or them sharing that one of LeBron James's sons has now been drafted, or he signed some type of contract. Listen, look, I am not big on sports. But one of the things that I understood, because I heard a lot of people talking about, he shouldn't be playing basketball and all of these different things. I just shifted to a whole nother perspective. I don't know his gift, his talent, whatever. And they were saying, I know some people posted about, they just did that because it's LeBron's son. Let me tell y'all something. As parents, we are to build a foundation for our children to stand and thrive on. I want you to think about your parents. Let's say for those of you all who had parents who didn't leave you nothing. The Bible tells us that a good man, a good woman leaves an inheritance for his children's children. Not even just his children, but his grandchildren, which means that I should position myself in purpose so much and in wealth so much that it should be so much overflowing that my children's children will receive it. That's building. So this man positioned himself, and he understood, which lets me know his mindset was, over a period of time, I'm not just doing this for me. I'm doing this so that my sons will be positioned for greater. Why not? This is the call. Think about how well off your children will be if you build a foundation of wealth for them to have a great start to propel on. Think about the impact that they will have even greater. Because I believe in speaking, when you build a foundation of purpose, when you build a foundation of wealth, when you build a foundation of wisdom for them to stand on. Hello, good evening, good morning, whatever time of day it is. So as you all are moving in your purpose, I want you to always remember to build wide. Remember that you are the solution to somebody's problem. And to build deep. Understanding that what God has called you to build is not just for you, but it's for your children's children. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel so that anytime that I'm live, make sure that you join me. Thank you very, very much for the compliments. You all have an amazing evening and enjoy your weekend. And remember to know your worth. Good night, y'all. Bye.